All right, y'all. So this is gonna be one of those videos. I did my live stream today. After Collision, people were asking questions on the chat, and one of those questions that came up, like, if you were to be the promoter, like, what would you do to make the show better, or just the company better in general? And one of my answers was to feature women more on the show. Now, I said that not necessarily realizing that some more pre-show matches were added on to the Revolution show. So we already have two women's matches on the main card, which is for the women's title and also the TBS title. And then Tony Khan announced a total of four pre-show matches. So up until before today, we only had one match had been announced, which is the match with the pizza people, and nobody give a fuck about these TikTok people. And then they added three more matches. And they added a match where it's just like STP versus Undisputed Kingdom, and then they added a match with Hologram teaming up with Commander to go against I don't even know what the fuck that was, whatever the situation is. And then for whatever reason, Chris Jericho versus Gravity and for the Ring of Honor World title. And I'm just like, okay, what else is added on? The girls are there, right? No girls. In a total of 13 matches for Revolution for the pre-show and the main card, only two women's matches are there. And at first I was just like, you know what, girl, don't be surprised. This is the shit that they do. Like, you don't even get in front of the camera and talk about it. But the truth is that that's what this platform is for. This is what this is for. In situations where everybody's talking about, oh, y'all getting rid of DIE and all this shit or whatever. This is a situation where it's like you have these people who are supposed to be part of the company, who are supposed to be helping with the creative aspect of what people should see when it comes to AEW or WWE, TNA, GCW, whatever the fucking promotion is. And instead, every single promotion has this thing where it's just like, let's give the women the least amount of time that we could possibly give them. Granted, there are less women on the roster than men. I understand that. But there are enough women there to still dedicate more time for them on these shows. So you mean to tell me we have to sit through 13 matches tomorrow and only two of them are women's matches? And here's the thing. People are going to say, well, we don't really care too much about the women's matches, so two is good enough. You know what? For all these promotions who might feel like fans don't care enough, make them motherfucking care by putting more women on TV and putting them in a situation where people are going to want to see them more often. A lot of these times, people are just, they don't care about these girls. I can't tell you how many shows that I've gone to, and when the women come out, it's time to go use the bathroom, or, oh, look at her ass, look at her tits. They don't care anything else about what these girls are doing, no matter how talented that they are. But if the promotions took more time to have these women be in more meaningful situations on TV, you are the ones who decide what happens where when it comes to these shows and for how long things are supposed to go. And you make the conscious decision to say 15 minutes with these girls on TV on a 2-hour motherfucking show, which is absolutely insane. Then you look at a fucking pay-per-view card and you say to yourself, oh, we got two women's matches on here. That's the most that we can do, which is absolutely insane. You have one of your biggest storylines that you've ever had in your whole motherfucking company with Toni Storm and Mariah, who have absolutely been killing it. I've even seen like bigger like news outlets and people who are not wrestling fans posting things from like the red carpet where Mariah had attacked Toni Storm. People are fucking watching, and you take the time to add more men on the motherfucking card. The pre-show, you couldn't put out one more women's match on that thing, which is absolutely insane to me. Chris Jericho, who's supposed to be one of the more influential people back there, couldn't take his fat ass and say, you know what? Let me put Gravity and myself on Ring of Honor where we motherfucking belong, and let's get one of these girls to come on out here. You made sure y'all have Marina Shafir to be fucking out so that she didn't have to be part of the main event at Revolution with Mox. When y'all could have put this girl on TV with Will Nightingale, who they've been having quite a few run-ins with each other, at least on a motherfucking pre-show. At least. That's the least y'all could have did if y'all could not add that on the main card. So if people are not caring about women's wrestling, it's because that's what you put out there for people not to care, because you're not doing enough for people to want to watch this shit. It is absolutely crazy when I see stuff like this, because it's just like, people are gonna hear me complain about it and be like, well, you're a woman, so you're gonna see it that way. Everyone should see it that way. If you love wrestling, you should also see it that way too. There is no way that I would be a promoter and I would just look at the women on my card and just say, you know what, let me just give y'all 15 minutes. And that's it. That's absolutely it on Collision, Dynamite. Don't even get me started on Ring of Honor. They don't get enough TV time over there too. There used to be an account on X that would actually put how much time women would be getting per show, per promotion, and to show like how little it was, that they were not getting anything at all, barely any time of TV at all. We are here to watch the promotion. I really don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a man. You're wrestling. That's all I care. I don't give a fuck what you identify as. You get in the ring and you get shit done. That's all I care about. But if the company don't make people care by actually taking initiative to say we need to be more progressive with women in pro wrestling, then no one's going to care. And that right there is just, it really does break my heart, because I hear people say to me that they don't want to watch anymore because they don't like how women are getting treated in wrestling. Newsflash, baby. This is how we get treated no matter what we do in motherfucking life. Like, women are the second-class citizens. And it's absolutely insane. You have an opportunity to be progressive when it comes to women and pro wrestling. And I don't feel like within any of these companies, we see nearly enough with what can be done. We don't get no opportunities for like a all-female pay-per-view, or when they have Rampage, they never took advantage and just give us an all-women show. Some shit like that, where if people were to see things like this more often, then they would be more interested in wanting to see the girls. And it's not that they're not interesting. They are. You had Taya Valkyrie and Deonna Purrazzo being these Italian mobster girls. You had them doing vignettes and all this shit for them to keep losing and losing and losing every motherfucking week, which is absolutely insane. And then, out of the blue, the other day, after somehow, someway, Harley Cameron, I love you, girl, I love you, but she's the most inexperienced wrestler within AEW, and she takes a win over Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie, and then all of a sudden, the Vendettas, they broke up on X, not on the show. They don't have no time for y'all to know that these girls are broken up. They have them break up on X, and nobody fucking knows what's going on. Nobody knows. They don't give a fuck to even tell you that, even on commentary about stuff like that. To have an all-female faction would have been motherfucking dope if they were able to stick with that. And unfortunately, they are not. You have to go see yesterday, Friday, to go see Lady Frost and Taya Valkyrie over in CMLL. Deonna Purrazzo is going to be going to the UK and other promotions to be wrestling when she could have been on a motherfucking pre-show. This is what I'm talking about. When you have to go elsewhere to see some of these girls because they can't get the time to be on TV. It's just absolutely wild to me. Like, women, we are watching. A lot of these girls, we are watching because we like these women. Some of us look up to some of these women. Some of the girls who are watching wrestling want to be just like these girls. And we can't even get them to get any motherfucking time because what? There's more men on the roster? What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Whether if there's more men on the roster or not, you could be giving us something else. Chris Jericho. Why does Chris Jericho need to be defending the Ring of Honor world title on a pre-show for AEW Revolution? You tell me. You tell me. Chris Jericho, who's supposed to be helping the young talent, who's supposed to be putting people over and all this stuff, and instead of doing that, you're putting a title that's absolutely irrelevant to AEW on the line. And instead, Marina could have been on there with Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale, who's supposed to be going to Japan for quite some time, because she won't be here. Y'all not giving her no time. You put the title on her and take it off of her in, 30 days? Less than 30 days to keep it warm for somebody else. They did the same shit with her when she was in New Japan. These people, they're women. They're not no second-class citizen or some shit. Like, they are capable of doing things. How many of these girls wrestle better than motherfucking Hook and some of these people that are on this motherfucking roster? And I gotta sit here and see these people that can't even motherfucking wrestle. Because what, your daddy work here? If I were to have the money, a sugar daddy, or my daddy was a billionaire too, I would have my own promotion. And I would have dedicated the same amount of time when it came to women in the ring. And it's not just the time too, but making sure that it feels just as important. Because even with Marina Shafir in that Death Rider shit, she's still not getting into any matches. Nothing is happening in terms of her being built up. How has she been in this group for months and haven't had a single motherfucking match on AEW? Which is absolutely insane. And they didn't take the initiative to just be like, you know what, let's do Willow Nightingale and Marina at the pay-per-view, and Willow Nightingale will beat her ass so bad that she cannot help Moxley in the main event. Some shit like that. Like, there is just things that I feel like they don't sit there and talk about. I would love to know, Tony Khan, as much as I love AEW, I would love to know how many women are sitting there at that table when y'all sitting there and coming up with these creative decisions. How many of these people, who men or women, are people of color? This is what I think about all the time, because like when I sit here and talk about wrestling, I am trying to look at things from all aspects. And yes, representation absolutely matters, because if you're sitting there with a whole bunch of white people at the table and white men at the table at that, no one's going to be advocating for women being in these motherfucking ring more longer than what they should, which is just absolutely insane to me. I'm at a loss for words, you know, because I'm watching and I'm just seeing, like, every time I watch a wrestling show, one women's match, two women's matches if we lucky, and then all that stuff don't add up to definitely less than 20 minutes per show. They don't want to give more than that because for whatever fucking reason, I have no clue. You know, there's no reason. Like, nobody back there is saying, hey, Tony Khan, we only got 2 women's matches on here. What's going on? Let's add some more of these women. Then we're going to come on over on Dynamite. There's going to be another 1 women's match. Maybe 2 if we're lucky again. Absolutely insane. Like, we should be doing better. Tony Khan keep trying to make it seem like, you know, he's an alternative for wrestling. If you're an alternative, stop doing the same shit like everyone else is doing and put women on motherfucking TV. It don't even need to be 30 minutes of it. And I shouldn't even have to say that. It doesn't need to come to that point where people have to be saying, well, where's the girls? When I saw Tony Khan posted earlier today about, how tomorrow's Revolution, we added some pre-show matches, they tore his ass up in the comments about where the girls. Where are the girls? You added 3 matches to the pre-show. None of them are women. I don't know. This stuff is so frustrating. This is why, like, for me, as much as I love wrestling, like, if I were to work with a promotion, I would be so proactive with making changes in terms of women wrestling, in terms of diversity in wrestling. Somebody has to be the one to speak up about stuff like this when no one else is realizing what's going on. Sometimes it's not that they're sexist or racist or anything. Is they're oblivious to the fact that people do want inclusion, where people want to see other people being included and kind of, well, not everything in life is equal, but to be better than what it is. I'm not even asking for equal amount of time for the women and men. I'm not even asking for that. But 15 fucking minutes, if that. That's how the matches, Momo tonight, with Serena Deeb. And then we also had Harley Cameron and local talent. That match, those 2 matches together wasn't even 15 minutes at all. What are we doing? What are we doing with a storyline as amazing as Mariah and Toni Storm? You would think that they would look at that and say, we can do so much more when it comes to women in wrestling. And instead, it's a shame, a motherfucking shit all over again. And stuff like this be like, I hate fucking watching this shit. I really do, as much as I love pro wrestling. But if I were not to say something and no one else say anything, these people will not have an absolute clue what the fuck we mean when we say that when we love wrestling, we also mean that we love women's wrestling too. And don't forget, it's motherfucking March. It's motherfucking March, which is supposed to be Women's Month. And apparently that means not a damn thing. You guys, thanks so much for watching my rant. That's all I can do right now. For right now, because I'm so motherfucking heated about this. And I hope that I am opening people's eyes to realizing that women, we are important when it comes to all aspects in life, but when I'm talking about wrestling in general, like what we get is not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. And if these promotions were to do more so that people can actually really give a fuck, people would want to see more women's wrestling more often. I'll see you on the next one.